The silent ship in the dark. The stars were quiet. Space was cold. Nothing moved. But then, something changed. The alien ship Vorax picked up a strange signal. It was old, very old. The sound was broken, like a voice from a dream. It came from deep space. No planets, no stations, nothing. Captain Zorak, leader of the Vorax, leaned forward in his seat. "Where is that coming from?" he asked. His crew checked the scanners. The signal was weak, but it repeated the same message every 10 seconds. "This is Earth Vessel Nova 7 requesting help. Please respond." One of the crew, a young alien named Turn, looked confused. Earth? Humans? But they left this sector 100 years ago. Zorak's eyes narrowed. And no one has heard from them since. The crew became quiet. Earth ships were powerful, dangerous. Long ago they fought many battles. Some said they were monsters in war. But now, humans were gone. Or so everyone believed. Still, the signal was real. Zorak stood up. "Set course for the source. We're going to find this ship." The Vorax flew through the black. Days passed. No stars, no planets, only darkness. Then they saw it, floating in space, silent, huge, an Earth ship, dead, broken, cold. Its name was still written on the side. Nova 7. It was 3 times bigger than the Vorax. Its metal body was burned in many places. Parts of the ship were torn open as if something tried to rip its way out. But lights were still on inside. Faint but glowing red. Turn whispered, "It's not fully dead." Zorak stared at the Earth ship. Why is it still alive after all? These years? There were no answers. They sent a scan. No human life detected. But the signal was still calling for help. "This is Earth Vessel Nova 7. Requesting help. Please respond." Zorak spoke calmly. "We will board the ship. Find the source, then leave." "No weapons?" asked another crew member. "Weapons ready, but don't use them unless you must." They launched a small boarding ship and connected it to the side of Nova 7. The alien team stepped inside. The air was cold. The walls were dark. The lights flickered slowly. Red, then off, then red again. It was like stepping into a dead body. But the heart was still beating. Turn looked around. "This place, it smells old, like metal and ash." They moved down a hallway. The walls were scratched. Some parts had dried blood. Human blood. There were strange symbols drawn on the metal, written by hand. One message stood out. "Don't open the lower decks. They are not dead." Captain Zorak stopped. He looked at the message. "Who wrote this?" he asked. No one answered. They kept moving. Their steps echoed in the empty ship. Everything was silent. Too silent. They reached the control room. Screens were broken. Chairs were empty. But the signal was coming from here. Turn sat at a console and connected his tools. Found the source of the message. It was an auto loop, set to repeat forever. Set a long time ago. But the real surprise was this. Someone had activated it recently. Zorak looked at the data. This message was started 1 year ago. But the ship is 100 years old. Turn said. How? Then, they saw the security footage. The screen flickered, then showed a hallway. Dust everywhere. No movement. Then, a figure, a human. Walking slowly. He wore a black suit. His face was calm. His eyes glowed slightly red. He looked straight at the eye camera, and then the screen went dark. "Who is that?" one crew member asked, his voice shaking. Zorak said nothing. His eyes were locked on the screen. Suddenly, the ship made a deep sound. Boom. Something powered on. The lights changed from red to white. Soft, clean light filled the halls. Doors unlocked with soft clicks. Turn checked the systems. "Captain, something just woke up the ship." Zorak gave the order. "Everyone back to the shuttle now." But it was too late. From the hallway behind them, a soft voice came through the intercom. Why did you come here? They turned around. No one was there. The voice spoke again. You heard my call, but you were not ready. Then the lights turned red again. The signal stopped. Back on the Vorax, the crew looked pale, shaken. Zorak stared out the window at the Earthship. It floated there, quietly, like before, but now, they knew something inside was alive, and it was watching. Ghost ship-y. Door closed behind them, but it didn't lock. That was the first warning. Inside the Earthship Nova 7, everything was still again. Red lights blinked on the walls. The air felt heavy, like it hadn't been breathed in for years. Tern whispered, "Did anyone else hear that voice?" No one answered. Captain Zorak moved forward slowly. His claws clicked on the metal floor. "Stay alert," he said. "Something is wrong here." He was right, because now the walls were different. Before, they were scratched and dirty. Now, they looked cleaned, but not by machines. By hand. There were long marks on the metal, like something had been dragging sharp fingers across it. Then they found the first door. It was half open. Lights inside flickered weakly. They stepped in and froze. It was a room for humans, but it looked like no one had lived here. No beds, no food, just chairs, bolted to the floor, and on the walls, more writing. But this time, it was fresh, scratched in with something sharp. Don't trust the light. Don't follow the voices. Tern's hands shook. Captain, someone wrote this recently. The message was still warm to the touch. Suddenly, a cold breeze passed through the room. Zorak turned. There's no wind in space. And yet, they felt it. They moved deeper into the ship. The hall stretched like a maze. The deeper they went, the less damage they saw. Then, they reached a broken screen. It flickered on for 1 second. A face, human, pale, eyes wide open, then gone, just static. Tern stepped back. This ship is watching us. Another crew member, Vor, tapped on a door. This one leads down, lower decks. No, Zorak said quickly. We stick to the top levels, but Vor pushed the door. It opened, and behind it was darkness. Pitch black, a gust of freezing air poured out, and a sound, a soft click, 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 like claws on metal. Then, silence again. Suddenly, lights behind them turned off, one by one. Click, click, click. The hallway was now black behind them. Zorak gave the order. Back to the control room now. They ran. Their footsteps echoed too loud. Halfway back, Turney stopped. Where's Vor? They looked around. He was gone. Only his scanner lay on the ground, still beeping. No scream, no warning. Gone. Back at the control room, the screens were on again. But they didn't show cameras. They showed text. Words, typing themselves in real time. You should not have come. You woke something. It remembers pain. And it does not forget, Zorak yelled. Who are you? Then a video loaded, old footage. Earth soldiers in black armor, moving fast, fighting something off screen. Then, screams. Loud, terrible screams. One soldier shouts, "Seal the lower decks. Lock it in." The video ends. Tern turned pale. This ship was not just a warship. It was a prison. Zorak nodded slowly, and something escaped. One last screen blinked on. A live feed. The cryo room. They saw a single empty pod. Then, movement. A shadow passed in front of the camera. Fast. Too fast to see clearly. But it stopped just for 1 second. A shape. Human. Standing still. Watching the camera. Its eyes glowed red. Then the screen went black. The ship spoke again. Not through speakers. Through the walls. You opened the wrong door. Now it's awake. Now it remembers. Tern looked at the captain. We need to leave. But the door to their shuttle bay was no longer there, just a wall. A wall with more fresh writing. You are part of the story now. Zorak raised his weapon. Get ready. We're not alone. From deep below they heard it. A low growl. Not machine, not human, something else. The ghost ship was no longer silent. The cryo room, it was not the sound that woke them. It was the silence that ended. Silence that had lasted for years, cold, still, empty, until now. Zorak's breathing was sharp, too fast, too loud. He forced himself to calm down. His alien eyes scanned the walls of the Earthship Nova 7, but nothing moved. Tern whispered, Captain, something is following us, Zorak already knew. Behind them the lights had stopped working again, but not because of power failure, because something didn't want them to see. The crew moved carefully down the next hall. Then they found it. Large metal door, bent inwards, like something strong had pushed its way through. On the door were words, deeply carved. Cryo-containment, Class Black. Tern looked confused. What does Class Black mean? Zorak answered without turning. His head. Something humans never wanted to wake up. Inside the cryo room, the air was colder than ice. Vapor floated around the floor. They stepped in slowly. There were 12 cryopods. 11 of them were full. Lights red. Systems dead. Inside, the frozen bodies of human soldiers perfectly preserved. Their faces looked peaceful. But the 12th pod, it was open. Wires ripped out. Ice melted. No one inside. Zorak stared. He woke up. Tern checked the log on the side of the pod. His voice shook as he read. Name. Lieutenant Oren Vance rank, Ghost Unit. Black Command mission. Unknown status. Active. Then he found a hidden note at the bottom of the file. If he wakes, I do not approach, do not speak, do not run. Suddenly something crashed in the hallway outside. Bang! They rushed back. The wall was marked with blood. Vor's blood, and on the wall written in it, he's not the only one who woke up. Tern shook. There were others in this ship. Zorak nodded. Humans weren't just fighting outside enemies. They locked something in here with them. Then, behind them, a soft voice. You're not the first to come, but maybe the last. They turned, fast, but again nothing, only shadows. Tern checked another screen in the cryo room. It showed a short video. A man, Oren Vance, standing in the room alone. Talking to the camera, he said, We tried to stop it, failed. So I locked myself in, with it. If you're watching this, I didn't finish the job. It's loose, I'm hunting it, but if I fail... He looked straight into the lens. Run, or burn this ship. Then the screen turned black. The crew stood frozen. They didn't know what to fear more, the human who had woken up, or the thing he was chasing. Then they heard it again. The clicking. Click. 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 But this time, not from one place. From all around them. Walls. Floor. Ceiling, Zorak whispered, weapons ready, prepare for contact. But before anyone could move, a shadow dropped from the ceiling. It landed behind Tern, tall, thin, wrong. It moved without sound, skin like black glass, eyes like empty stars. Tern turned. It grabbed him. No scream, just silence again. And then it vanished, taking him with it. Zorak stared at the empty space. He finally understood. This wasn't just a ghost ship. It was a hunting ground, and they were the prey. They saw a human move. The monster took Tern without a sound. But it was what happened next that truly broke them, because the human came after it. Captain Zorak and his crew stood frozen, weapons raised. The hallway where Tern had stood was now empty. Only a smear of blood remained on the floor. Suddenly, footsteps, slow, steady, heavy. Someone was walking toward them from the shadows. Zorak raised his weapon. "Stand down, or we fire." No answer, just the sound of boots getting closer, and then the shape stepped into view. A human, tall, strong. Wearing old black armor, cracked and scarred from battle, his eyes glowed a faint red, not from rage. Not from madness, but from focus. He looked at them, not with fear or anger, but with warning. "I'm not your enemy," he said quietly. His voice was rough, like he hadn't spoken in years. Zorak didn't lower his weapon. "You're the one from the cryopod. Lit Oron Vance." The human nodded once. "You shouldn't be here." One of the aliens shouted, "What took our crewman?" The human's face went cold. "You saw it?" Zorak replied. "Yes. Black skin, silent, fast." Oren looked down, then back up. Then, it's too late. He walked past them without fear. Zorak stepped in front of him. "You will answer us." But Oron just said, "It listens to sound. It follows fear. You're already marked. So now, we either run together or die apart." Then he turned and opened a side door. Inside was a room full of weapons, old Earth tech untouched for years. Zorak followed. Slowly. "This ship was your prison," he said. "What were you hunting?" Oron didn't look back. "Not what? Who?" As the alien crew armed themselves, the ship began to hum again, soft like a voice trying to wake up from a dream. Then the lights flickered, and a message appeared across every screen. "He is moving. The hunt begins again." The crew looked at each other. "Who is he?" one asked. Oren's voice was flat. "We called him Subject Echelon, a human experiment, something that went wrong." Zorak stepped forward. "Why not destroy him?" Oron finally turned, to face them, his eyes full of something ancient. "Because we couldn't." Then the sound came again. Click, 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 right above them. Oren didn't hesitate. He grabbed a small explosive device and threw it at the ceiling. Boom. Dust and fire rained down, and a scream, not human, high, sharp, wrong. The crew covered their ears. The scream didn't hurt their bodies, but it stabbed their minds. The creature wasn't just physical, it knew how to hurt the brain. Oron grabbed Zorak and shouted, "Move!" They ran, through the ship, past frozen halls, past open doors, past the places where time had stopped. Then, Zorak saw something. A chamber, sealed in thick glass. Inside it, armor, black and silver. Heavy, and next to it a human body. Not moving, but its eyes were still open. Watching. Zorak stopped. "Who is that?" Oron paused. "That was me. Before the upgrade." Zorak stared in disbelief. "There. Are two of you?" "No," Oren said. "That's the part of me I left behind, when I chose to become the thing that could kill Echelon." A sudden crash. The lights shattered. The hallway behind them twisted. The metal warped like it was breathing, and in the distance, something crawled. Zorak turned to Oron. "You said, it listens to fear, so how do we survive?" The human gave a small dark smile. "You don't fear it, you chase it." Then, for the first time, they saw a human run toward the danger. No backup, no plan. Just rage, memory, and purpose. And for the first time, the monster ran away. Echelon in deep space, sound doesn't travel. But terror does. And right now, Nova 7 was full of it. The creature was fast, strong, silent, but it wasn't unstoppable. Because, now, it was running. Running from the one thing it feared. A human who remembered why it should be afraid. Zorak had never seen anything like it. Lieutenant Oron Vance didn't fight with anger. He didn't fight with panic. He fought with precision, like every step was part of a plan written years ago. The alien crew watched him chase the monster into the dark halls of the ship. Then the door closed behind him. Locked. Sealed. Gone. Vor whispered, Why would a human run toward that thing? Zorak answered without looking. Because maybe he's not just human anymore. They waited in the silence. 1 minute, 2. Then, boom. The walls shook, lights blinked. A long scream echoed from below. Not Auron's scream. Zorak grabbed his scanner. I'm reading heat spikes, Deck 9, cryo sector again. But we just left that place. Vor shouted. Exactly, Zorak said. It's circling us. Meanwhile, deep in the lower levels, Auron stood in a destroyed lab. Blood, dry, and old painted the floor, shattered glass, broken screens, symbols carved into the walls by hands long dead. In front of him stood a chamber, empty, cold, lined with needles and wires. It was where Echelon was made. He remembered the screams, the orders, the betrayal. Push the limits, they had said. No fear, no pain, pure evolution. But something went wrong. Echelon learned too fast. It escaped and killed its makers. All except one, Auron. He had survived by doing something no other human dared. He fused his mind with war tech. Removed fear. Cut out hesitation. And then he hunted the monster he helped create. Until both of them were frozen, locked away, forgotten. Until now. Back with the alien crew, Vor saw a motion alert. The screen flickered, static. Then a hallway feed came alive. Auron appeared, dragging something behind him. A body. Long, twisted, black-skinned, unmoving. Zorak leaned forward. Is it dead? Auron dropped it, then spoke into the camera. Not yet, but it will be. Suddenly, the feed cut. Then the ship's main lights turned red. A new voice played, mechanical and broken. Warning! Class Black Containment Breach. New threat detected, Echelon Alpha Prime. Subject has split. Zorak's face hardened. Split? Yes. The body Auron had dragged? It wasn't the real Echelon. It was just a part. A shell. Auron stared down at it, then looked up and whispered, You left a piece behind, but I left a trap. He opened a compartment in his chest armor, pulled out a device. It pulsed once. Then, silence. Auron turned and walked away as the fake Echelon began to melt, its body burning from the inside. But it wasn't over. Above him, the walls began to twist again. Metal groaned. The real one was watching, learning, moving, and for the first time, even Auron paused. He whispered, You evolved again, didn't you? Burn protocol fire was not the humans' first weapon. It was their last. A sign that talking had failed, that running wasn't enough, that it was time to erase everything. And on the Nova 7, deep in its black core, the fire was about to begin, not just to destroy the enemy, but to erase a mistake. Zorak gripped the side of the console as alarms screamed around him. Burn protocol. Activated. Ship will self-ignite in 22 minutes. Is this a joke? Vor shouted. You're burning the ship? We're still on it. Auron's voice crackled through the comms. Calm, unshaken. It's not a ship anymore. It's a nest. Down in the biocore chamber, Auron stood alone, surrounded by ancient tech, pulsing flesh walls, and the slow beat of something alive. He had seen it now. The true form of Echelon. Not a single creature, not a soldier, but a network. A self-growing, self-learning organism made from cloned human minds and alien code. It didn't just kill, it copied. Auron placed a small black cube on the ground. Alpha flame, armed. The cube began to glow hot and white, brighter than any star. Zorak called him again. What are you doing? Burning it from the root. But then, the lights died, one by one, across the ship. Not from power. Failure. From something sucking the light out. Darkness spread like water. Then, a voice. Not from speakers. not from comms but inside their heads. You are inside me now. Fire cannot kill thought. Vor dropped to his knees, shaking. It's in my mind. Zorak held his head, trying to stay conscious. And Oron, down in the black chamber, smiled. Good. You're talking now. That means you're afraid. Suddenly the walls shifted. Echelon appeared, not as a body this time, but as shapes. Faces forming from wires, arms stretching from broken glass. It was wearing the crew's faces, mocking, testing. You left me behind, it whispered. Now I'll wear you forward. But Oron wasn't afraid. He had seen this before. He had survived worse. He opened a panel on his wrist and triggered final lock. The ship's walls began to seal. Emergency escape pods were ejected, launched into deep space automatically. Zorak shouted, "What are you doing?" "Sending you away," Oron replied. "You're not soldiers. I am." Echelon screamed, a high digital roar that bent the metal. It threw itself at Oron, but the human didn't move. He stared into the burning eyes of the monster he helped create and whispered, "I made you. I'll unmake you." Flames erupted from the chamber. Not orange, not red, white, pure, clean, the kind of fire that forgets. And then the Nova 7 was gone. Only a cloud remained. And in it, one last signal. From Oron. Mission complete. Don't follow the smoke. Let this memory die. The signal that shouldn't exist, the Nova 7, was gone. Erased by white fire. No wreckage, no survivors, only silence. And yet, the signal came. 3 days later, a long-range patrol ship from the Zalon Empire picked up a strange transmission. Weak, broken, but very, very human. The message repeated every 39 seconds. "This is Lieutenant Oron Vance. Burn failed. It's learning. I am not me anymore. Do not answer." Captain Valar of the patrol ship didn't know what Nova 7 was, didn't know who Oron Vance was. But he heard the fear in that voice, and for the first time in his career, he gave a silent order. "Block the signal. Bury the report. No one must hear this." But it was too late. The signal had already spread, not just to military networks, but to civilian ones, to deep space explorers, to scavenger guilds, to human outposts. Curiosity had already awoken. On a hidden moon station, an old warship powered up. A human voice said, "Play that last part again." The message repeated, "I am not me anymore." The soldier narrowed his eyes. "Then who the hell are you?" In a pirate relay ship, a young, alien pilot tapped the screen. "Nova 7? That's just a ghost story," she said. Her partner replied, "Then why is it whispering in our system?" They didn't know it yet, but the signal had found them too. And somewhere, far from any sun, a small black cube floated in silence. Still, hot, still alive. Then, it blinked, one pulse of red light. Just one, but enough to mean only one thing. Echelon survived. Because fire can burn flesh, but it cannot burn memory. And Echelon was never just flesh. Now the galaxy watches, waiting, listening, for the signal that should never exist. And somewhere, in a new ship, with a new name, a human wakes up. Eyes red, mind quiet. But this time, he doesn't say his name. Because this time, he doesn't know if he's Oron anymore, or Echelon.